Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be my monthly reset. We're going to be resetting for the month of October. I'm going to be sharing my monthly goals and intentions, my monthly vision board and how I set that up. And then we're also going to go through our family's budget for October. If you're new, hi, I'm Liz. I love sharing real life and real numbers here on my channel. I'm a married mom to 3 in my 40s, and I truly love sharing my journey in learning to live with more intention, save with purpose, and spend with joy. I love connecting with other women on a similar journey. So if that's you, introduce yourself in the comments. So grab yourself a beverage of choice and let's set up for a new month. I have my laptop over here, so if you see me glancing, that is what I'm looking at. I will also share visuals here on the screen so you can follow along with me as we set up for a fresh month. If you're new to my monthly resets, I like to set goals and intentions for 10 key categories. It just helps me to stay focused on the things that truly matter to me. So my key categories are home, career, income, health, personal, family, adventure, spirit, marriage, and friendships. I take those 10 key categories every single year. I set yearly goals and intentions for each of those categories. So how do I want to feel? What are things I want to accomplish in those categories? And then each month when I sit down and do these resets, I look at each of those categories and my larger goal and intentions. And then I set smaller bite-sized goals that will lead me to that larger goal that I've set for that key category. First thing I like to do when I'm setting myself up for a new month is take some time to reflect on the previous month. And I did take a couple of months off of YouTube. I was going through some difficult times, lost someone really special to me, kind of put myself in a cocoon with my family, find my creative spark again. And that is definitely what I did, which leads me to October's goals and intentions. So looking at each of my key categories and going back to that larger goal. So for example, my home category, my larger yearly goal is to have a simple, clean, and clutter-free home. That has been a huge focus for me in 2025, simplifying our home, decluttering. So that's my goal. My intention for our home, so how do I want it to feel, is calm and peaceful. And then my monthly measurable goals, so something that I can check off and track, not just kind of like a pie in the sky goal for myself, is to decorate minimally for fall. So again, keeping with that simple theme, it can be very easy for me to just want to buy all of the things and throw pumpkins everywhere, but that's not how I want my home to feel. So decorate minimally for fall, keep it cozy and inviting, and just stick with these simple daily tasks that I've set up for myself. I do work casually for our school board in my area, so I will be working for the next 6 to 7 weeks, 3 days a week at a school. So I need to be very intentional and stay on top of those daily tasks so that things don't feel overwhelming and the home just functions way better. For my career category, my intention for the year is to feel ahead, inspiring, and productive. I want to feel successful and believe in myself. My monthly goal for October is to come back to YouTube and going forward to post 1 video a week on each of my channels. If you didn't know, I do have 2 channels. My other channel is like a thrifting and decorating channel. So I want to make sure that I am posting once a week on that channel and then also sharing once a week on this channel as well. For my income category, my intention for the year is to feel freedom, not feel stressed about finances. So my goals for the month of October are to track our finances daily with joy and ease. This is on my list every single month because it leads to that larger goal that I've set for myself. My next category is health. My yearly intention for my health is to feel grounded, healthy, vibrant, and happy. Measurable goals for October are to work out 5 times a week in the morning. This is something my husband and I have been doing for the past few months, and then do 10,000 steps a day. Instead of just writing walking daily, this gives me something to work towards. Whereas if I didn't have that measurable goal and I just wrote get steps daily, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll get steps tomorrow. I'm at 7,000. But having that measurable 10,000 on there, sometimes I don't hit the 10,000, but at least I'm trying and I have that to work towards. And that's why I love setting measurable goals. It forces me to really do the things that I said I wanted to do and just like own my time and own my goals and my dreams. I have another one for health. I want to do more meal prepping. I'm good at meal planning. Every single week I sit down and I do my grocery list and I plan out our meals. I feel like I've mastered that, but I want to get better at prepping, especially since I'm working more now outside of the home. It's great to have like meals ready to go, and I know that they're healthy and they're filled with protein and just helps me make better choices. So I want to do that this month. My personal category, my intention for the year is to feel taken care of, like self-care. And another focus for this year has been making myself a priority. At this stage in my life, my kids are almost 15, 12, and 10. I had to think for a second there. They're older and there's a little bit more time where they're at their sports or they're with their friends. I really wanted to make sure that I was just taking care of myself. I don't have that excuse anymore that my kids are young. I do have more time, and I wanted to make sure that I was being intentional with that time and really taking care of myself. Because if we don't feel good as moms, as women in this world, everyone feels that around us. I want to go in the sauna 3 times a week. There's a sauna at our gym and I was using it a lot in the summer, but since the school year started up and we kind of have to be back home a little bit quicker, I've been skipping that step, and I really want to get back to doing it. And having it a 3 times a week goal is realistic because I can go twice on the weekends when we have a little bit more time. I really want to make that a priority. And then another thing with creating these measurable goals is when I sit down and plan my week, I know that I need to plug these things in on specific days. Again, just to really make sure that these things happen. I know, for example, the sauna, I need to go and plug it in on my days off, or if I'm going to go on the weekend, whatever that looks like, I can be really specific and just make sure that I am doing it. For the family category, my intention for the year is to feel happy, connected, and just have fun together. And goals for October is family chores together on Saturdays and family dinners on Sundays. I was talking to friends, and maybe you can relate, like at this stage in life, having sit down family dinners every single night of the week is just, it's not in this season of life. And I have to understand that. However, looking at our schedule for October, I can see that every single Sunday, it is absolutely possible for us to sit down and have a nice meal together. So I want to create like really beautiful Sunday dinners and just have fun in the kitchen, maybe get my kids involved, and just enjoy being together on Sundays. And then family chores together on Saturday. We started it the past couple of weekends, getting everyone involved, and everyone has their responsibilities. We have music playing and we're just kind of all working together, and it's been working great. So I want to keep doing that and really, again, make that a focus. For my adventure category, my yearly intention is to feel expansive, sunshine, fun, and carefree. Measurable goal for October is to start looking at a winter break trip planning, looking at pricing, seeing if I can find any good deals, because if it's not in the budget, it's not going to happen, but I can still have fun kind of looking into that and seeing what I can find. For my spirit category, my yearly intention is to feel grounded, clarity, and gratitude. So my monthly measurable goals for October: morning journaling, vision board daily. So every single morning I look at my yearly vision board. So those yearly goals that I set for each of my categories. And then every single month, we're going to do that shortly. I set up a monthly vision board for these specific monthly goals that I've set for myself. So every single morning I check in with those. And I also have less scrolling, more learning. I want to read more books. I read a ton of books over the summer and I really, really enjoyed that. I want to continue to do that. For my marriage category, my intention for the year is to feel happy, connected, and adventurous. Monthly measurable goals for October: nightly walks. So we like to go for a nice long walk with our dog every single evening. It's something we really look forward to at the end of the day. Everyone's been everywhere and we just kind of sneak out and enjoy some time together. So making sure we're doing that every single night. I have 4 date nights in October, so super measurable. And then in brackets, I just have some ideas I wrote down, like game nights, hot tub soaks, bonfires. Like, it doesn't need to be expensive fancy, just time where we're connecting, enjoying time together. And then my last but not least category is friendships. And my intention for the year is to feel connected. I want to be a good, solid friend, and I want to have good, solid friends around me as well. So my goal for October is to host a ladies' night. I would love to do maybe like a fall themed girls' night in our backyard and enjoy some great company. So those are my monthly goals and intentions. The next thing I like to do is I like to go to Pinterest. This is where I have all of my vision boards, and I like to create a new vision board for the new month. So I'm gonna call this October, and then I always like to do some sort of a fun emoji just to make it extra inspiring. It's one thing to dream in your mind and to write your goals and intentions. It's another thing to visually see things that represent those goals and dreams that you've set for yourself. It really is so powerful. Now I've got my board ready. I will just search. So for example, my personal category, one of my goals is to be in the sauna 3 times a week. So I'm gonna search for a picture of a sauna, and maybe I'll do like lady in sauna. So I love this image. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin that to my October vision board. And then I just go through the rest. So another one was family chores together. So I'm gonna look up family chores. You want to find a photo that really speaks to you and that will remind you of that goal that you set for yourself. So I love this one, how to create a family chore chart and get everyone involved. I just like that there's some kids in the photo. It looks like the son is very happy to be vacuuming. I accept that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that one. So that's all that I do. I just go through every category and its goals, and I just make sure that I pin an image that represents that goal and that will give me that reminder to really focus on the things that I really want to focus on and not get distracted with everything else. It's just a really great little reminder. On to our monthly budget for October. I like to budget in a zero-based budget way, which means every single dollar is given a job. So at the beginning of the month, I sit down with our projected income, and you're gonna see I'm gonna go through every single category and make sure all of our bills are paid, our expenses are paid, like the money is there set aside for that. And then whatever is left over, I make sure that I am giving specific jobs to. So investing, saving, also sinking funds. And I have a full video on sinking funds. I also have a full video on how I budget in a zero-based budget way. I will link those videos down below. They're super helpful if you're new to budgeting. I made it as simple as can be because I was once there and it all felt very overwhelming to me. So I definitely tried to bring myself back to that beginning stage when I was getting started on my personal finance journey. So hopefully those videos can be helpful to you. But I have since grown, and now I use a larger spreadsheet that I purchased on Etsy. I will also link that in my description box. And right before we get into our family's actual budget, I am married and my husband is much more private than I am. I am a complete open book. He's asked that I keep certain things private, so I do share all of our real expenses, our bills, real numbers. I just don't share our income and our savings amounts. Those are things that he's asked that I keep private, so I do. But like I said, everything else is completely open. So starting off with the very first thing that I like to budget is our bills and subscriptions. So we pay our mortgage weekly, and since October is a 5-week month, our mortgage for the month is $2,605, a little bit of a higher month. Hydro, I've projected to be $350 for the month. I won't know exactly until tomorrow what that is. Enbridge gas is $150. Our property tax is $431. Our gym membership is $57. Netflix is $25. Reliance, which is our water tank, is $120. Amazon Prime is $24.99. Car insurance and home insurance together is $391. Braces, my son's braces, insurance pays half, we pay half, is $124, and then my daughter's cheer payment is $314. Expenses for the month, I have groceries at $1,500, $300 a week. Eating out, I've budgeted $100. Van gas, I've budgeted $300, so $60 a week. Our dog's food, I've budgeted $100. Protein powder, $60. Gifts, I've budgeted $200. Pathfinder gas, that's our second car. We don't use it that often. I've budgeted $60, so one fill up. Haircuts, $125. I take that out once a month in cash so that my husband and my sons have it for their haircuts. Skincare, I need to do some replenishing, so I budgeted $100. Entertaining for my girls' night. That's why I like to set my goals first so that if I need any extra money in our budget, I'm prepared and able to do that. So I put $150 towards entertaining this month. We also are going to do a little Halloween thing on the street for the kids. So I will have some left over to go towards that as well. Fall, I have $190. So fall is anything related to fall. I like to have a seasonal line item. So summertime, I have a summer one. For fall, it would be like going to the farm, getting pumpkins, picking up flowers for our front porch. Also Halloween costumes would be out of that as well. I try and shop secondhand and thrift as much as I can for Halloween, and I've always been very successful at that, so I feel confident with that $190 that I've set aside. And then our sinking funds this month, I've put aside an extra $250 for my daughter's cheer. I have to replace a part of her uniform that she's outgrown, so I knew I wanted to have some extra money in there for that. Hockey, we have to pay my son's final payment for his fees for the year, which are $1,000. And then I've set aside an extra $200 because he has a tournament, and I know we're probably going to go to dinner and lunch and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I've set aside money for us to do that as well. And then I have kids stuff. So I have $200 for kids stuff because I know that they're going to need like maybe some new hats, gloves, kind of as we come up to the winter season. I don't need to get their jackets yet. That'll probably be in November's budget, but I want to have some extra money for picking up that, like fall gloves, hats. This is basically a sinking fund for anything that they might need. And then home projects, I have $100 set aside for that. Our record player kicked the bucket, and I enjoyed having that so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and order us a new record player. I'm going to try and source out one first, secondhand, and if I can't, then I know that I have some extra money set aside for that. It just brings us joy, and it's something that I really did enjoy having playing, especially like getting ready for school in the morning and in the evenings. It's such a vibe. So I want to have the money aside for that. And then clothing, I have $100 every single month just to cover like obviously any clothing purchases that happen. We're able to put some money towards our Florida house. So again, saving for any closing costs, things that we need to do to the property. And also I have some money budgeted to go towards our investments. And then what's left over goes towards our travel fund. And I'm hoping that we're able to put a little bit into that fund this month. So that is my October monthly reset. I feel so good and excited and ready for the new month. I cannot tell you how good it feels to sit down and do this and be prepared before the month happens. If you're new to budgeting, please don't forget to check out that video. I promise you it will change your life to get on a budget. It's so empowering to know exactly where your dollars are going. We work really hard for those dollars, and it's so good to know how you're using them. And also, if you haven't set yearly goals for yourself, it's never too late. You can get started anytime. Definitely do the vision board. It's so powerful to be able to see those things visually and know exactly what you're going after. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for all of you for spending this time with me and setting up a new month. Let me know if you have any video requests down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Have an amazing day. Bye, everyone.